Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Doing another drive-in video on the way home after a Monday. After Easter, hope everyone had if you celebrate Easter, hope you had a wonderful Easter. If not, I hope you had a nice relaxing Sunday. The audio on this one has me a little concerned, only because, again, I'm still in the noisy car. And if you just heard that sound, no, I did not just pass wind. That is the windshield wipers, because it's raining out. So this should be an interesting one in terms of audio, because you're going to probably hear the windshield wipers in addition to my signal noise, and probably you might even hear the rain. I'm not sure if you'll hear it or not. So anyway, that's the deal. That's what's going on. Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully you can actually hear what I'm saying. So anyway, I figured today, just have a little fun and talk about a little something. Do a sort of a review, I guess. The fam and I decided last night that we would celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior by watching a movie where a prehistoric shark eats people. Okay, so one had nothing to do with the other. We just decided to watch a movie as a family, and we decided to watch the MEG because, number one, my whole family knows this. I love sharks. I have always loved sharks. I was obsessed with sharks as a kid. Absolutely, completely obsessed with them. I used to watch every Shark Week special, every shark documentary, I used to read books about sharks all the time. Any, bad movie about sharks I would watch, didn't matter. Obviously Jaws, of course. So it's only natural that, of course, I would be interested in the MEG. So we decided to watch, and I figured, what the heck? It's sort of it is tangentially related to comic books, which, of course, is the main focus of my channel. Insofar as you may know, you may not know, Mike S. Miller has a crowdfunding campaign. I think it might still be in demand. I actually am not sure. Where he's doing a crowdfunder for, it's actually 3 books in one. You can get any of the 3 individually, or you can get all 3, which is what I chose to do. And one of those books is a comic book adaptation of the MEG. And that's what the crowdfunder is named after. So if you're trying to search for it on Indiegogo, just look for the MEG, and I'm sure it'll come up for you. So, interesting story is that Mike's adaptation of the MEG is actually based on the book that the movie is based on as well, because the whole thing is based on a book written by, I think his name is Steve Altonen. Which, ironically now, because I'm going to be getting the comic book, because I backed the crowdfunder, so I'm going to be getting the comic book adaptation. I just watched the movie, so I feel like I should probably just complete the trifecta and read the novel too, and then maybe I will do a book report and compare and contrast the differences between all 3 at some point in the future. I don't know, we'll see. I think it just might be fun just to read the book anyway, just because I'm pretty sure the comic is based on the book. Obviously, the movie is based on the book as well. And then we could see which one is more faithful to the book. And when I say we, I mean me. And then, by the transitive property of watching my videos, you. So anyway, let's actually get into the movie. The movie was fun. It was good. I thought it was pretty good. Spoilers for the MEG. I feel like it's been out long enough that, I could do spoilers and it's not the end of the world. because it was in theaters. It's on video and all that stuff. It's, on demand and all that kind of nonsense. So I feel like, if you didn't see it by now, you're probably not that interested, or you just haven't gotten around to it. So, be warned. I'll probably have a little bit. There's one big spoiler I'm going to put in, although, honestly, if you're watching the film and you have any kind of intelligence, it's coming. And the big swerve is that, they're exploring. Let's go back. They're exploring the bottom of the Marianas Trench, and they always thought that it was, that the bottom was the bottom, of course. And apparently these scientists have a theory that there's actually something below the bottom, that it's like a false bottom. It's not actually the bottom. So it turns out, of course, that they're correct. And below that false bottom is a warmer ocean, warmer water underneath that divider layer, whatever they called it. I forgot what they called it. And who knows what's living down there. There'll be a whole ecosystem of things that we never knew what's down there. Of course, that's where the MEG is. And they accidentally release a plume of the warm water, which eventually, comes back to normal and regulates back to normal, but not without allowing the MEG to escape into the surface water. So basically the concept is that the really, really ice cold water of the deepest part of the ocean serves as a barrier, and the sharks will not travel, the MEG will not travel through that because it's too cold for it, which is kind of a weird concept because sharks are fine in cold water, honestly. Great white sharks, they're out here in the Atlantic all the time. The Atlantic is not known for its warmth. But whatever, they needed something, so it works. It's fine. It's plausible enough that even if it's not real science, it's fine. It gets the point across. And then the big swerve, of course, is that after they finally defeat the Megalodon and they kill it, it turns out, it wasn't just one that escaped. There was two. And so then they have to get the second one. It leads to this great scene on this crowded beach that, I don't know about you, but if you watch this movie, I would never go to that beach. That beach was insane. You literally, everybody gets, one square, foot to themselves in the water, and that's it. That's all you get to move. But meanwhile, even though it's that crowded, there's, people driving, jet skis through it and all this. No! People would be getting murdered left and right by these jet skis and everything else. It really was kind of silly, but whatever. It makes for a good scene. And so, you get the heroic ending, of course. You get some good stuff. The cast is good. The cast is fine. Jason Statham always does good work. He knows what he does. He's good at what he does. And it just works. He is who he is. He basically plays the same character in every movie, and that's fine, because he's good at it. The little girl in the movie does a great job. She's adorable. And I think she does a good job of delivering her lines and making you like her. The scientists, the main scientist dude and his daughter, who of course is the love interest, they both do a good job. It's pretty obvious that for the daughter that English is probably not her first language. But she does a great job. She does a fine job. She's likable. She's got a nice little charisma to her. She's attractive, of course, which is always a nice thing. And then Dwight from The Office, Rainn Wilson, is in it. He plays this jerk of a billionaire who finances the whole thing. And he does a good job. He's funny. He does a good job. He makes you think all right, he's okay. And then first you think he's a jerk, then you think he's okay, and then you think he's a jerk again. And then he has a pretty good scene with the shark. Anyway, the movie was fun. It was silly. It was fun. It was exactly what you expect it to be. The funny thing to me that I found, it was really weird because I found myself watching the movie and thinking the entire time that whoever made this film clearly made this film with the idea that, okay, it's gonna make a certain amount of money in the U.S. because it's it's got Jason Statham in it, and it's about a shark eating people. There's always gonna be a certain crowd who's gonna come out to see that type of movie. Because there just is. There's people like me who love sharks and will go see a movie like that. And there's people who just like monster movies and things of that nature. And they're just going to go see it just because it's going to be fun. And it's a fun night out. It'll be a fun date movie, So they know they're going to get that crowd here in the U.S. But what they did, which I found really interesting, was they clearly from the start decided that they were going to make this a movie that was very appealing to the Asian audience out there, which is a very large audience. You can do giant box office in China, and if you do okay box office here, you're gonna make a ton of money. And I have a feeling that's probably what happened with that movie. It did well here in the U.S. It didn't break records or anything, but it did fine. And it made a lot of money overseas. And part of the reason for that, if you watch the film, there's quite a bit of dialogue that is delivered in... I am not going to pretend to know if it was Mandarin or Cantonese. I have no idea. Smarter people than me can figure that out for you. But there was, quite a bit of dialogue delivered in Chinese and with subtitles, and it was fine. It was easy to follow. It's not a big deal. It was, my daughter was watching it and she was fine with it. Didn't even bring it up. It didn't even it wasn't a thing. But what was really interesting to me is every computer console, every display, every button, everything like that, was written in English and in Chinese. So the point of that is they didn't have to do any kind of awkward, weird, for the Chinese audience, they weren't going to need to do any kind of weird, awkward subtitles of the English of things like buttons that they're pressing and things of that nature. Obviously, it was going to be subtitled in the dialogue or dubbed. I don't know. It depends. Subs or dubs. It's up to you. I don't know if they actually have that choice in China. I'm sure they just get what they get, and they're told to enjoy it, so they enjoy it. But anyway, it was clearly made. I mean, there's a boat at the end. There's a yacht, and it's got a Chinese flag on it, and it's showing these wealthy Chinese people having a wedding. And again, they talk about, it all makes sense because of the location that the movie's taking place in. Yeah, absolutely, the stuff would probably be labeled that way. It makes perfect sense story-wise that it would look like that. And it's not distracting unless you're thinking about it the way I was, where you're thinking about these guys set out to make a movie that would be a real natural, easy watch for people in another country. And honestly, they did a good job. I think it worked fine. And obviously it made enough money because from my understanding, they greenlit a sequel. So you could expect a MEG 2, I think, next year. I think 2020 is the expected release. Or something like that. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. But it was just kind of interesting. But as far as the film goes, that's a whole sidebar that I just kind of found interesting. And I'm sure there was funding put into the movie for the budget from a Chinese source. I don't think anyone would just do that without getting some money for it, to begin with. But anyway, I'm sure it was a smart business move, and the movie made money. So, hey, more power to you. And it was a fun, entertaining movie. Like I said, it was a fun movie. It was PG-13, so the violence is actually pretty tame. I think it might have been... Well, you know what? Again, maximizing the box office. That's what they were doing there. They were maximizing their box office potential by making it a PG-13 film. Because normally, historically speaking, PG-13 movies make more money than R-rated movies do. So again, it's just another way they were maximizing the return on their investment, or the potential for the return on their investment. Would it have been a better movie if it was R-rated and maybe the violence was, like the shark attacks were a little more gory? Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. It could have been more, that awkward laugh of, oh, that was gruesome and gross. But it didn't really need it. It was fun and entertaining without it. And I was able to watch it with my daughter, who is 13. So, PG-13 means she is legally allowed to watch it. So, it definitely worked out in that regard. And I think they did a good job. I thought it was fun. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And I am looking forward to my comic book adaptation of the book. Because I know Mike's art is fantastic. I've seen the art. The art looks great. And now that I kind of know the story, I'm interested to see any differences that will be in the story. Since the comic is based on the book and not the movie, I'm definitely interested in seeing what the differences might be. So I'm looking forward to it, for sure. I'm looking forward to reading the comic. And then, like I said, maybe I'll pick up the novel, too. Just for the heck of it, just to see the differences there, too. If there's any even more differences with that as well. So anyway, that's my review, my drive home and review of the MEG, along with bonus windshield wiper noise and turn signal noise, and the rain. Okay, so that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you. I'm trying to break 140. Come on, 140, baby. My videos are also available. They're always mirrored over on BitChute. So if you prefer BitChute to YouTube, go for it. I love my BitChute subscribers. If I add my BitChute subscribers, I'm over 140 already. I'm closer to 150. But anyway, that's it for today. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. I hope you had a wonderful Easter and a great weekend. And again, if it wasn't Easter for you, well, it was Easter, but like if you don't celebrate Easter, hope you had a great weekend. And I will talk to y'all soon. Peace out.